Since its very beginnings, YouTube has been a destination for entertaining video content. However, over the years, the platform has evolved from pixelated vlogs and AMVs to more mainstream entertainment options like YouTube TV, YouTube Music, and pay-to-rent movies. One thing many people may not realize is that YouTube also offers plenty of free movies to stream, some with commercials and some without. Here's our roundup of the best free movies you can watch on YouTube. Looking for more streaming recommendations? Check out our guides to the best TV shows available on Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, and HBO Max, plus the best movies on Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, Disney+, and Tubi. Director: Rawson Marshall Thurber. Cast: Vince Vaughn, Christine Taylor, Ben Stiller. Genre: comedy. Rating: PG-13. Runtime: 1 hour 32 Rotten Tomatoes, 72%, critics, 76%, audience. The 2000s had their own brand of comedy, one that's exemplified perfectly by the outrageous, profane, and stupid but good, Dodgeball, a true underdog story. In it, Vince Vaughn plays a down-on-his-luck gym owner, who squares off against an unhinged Ben Stiller as a rival gym owner in a $50,000 dodgeball tournament. Featuring a cast of hilarious misfits and stuffed full of jokes, this is the kind of comedy where you'll be laughing pretty much every minute. Balancing crudeness and charm in the way that some of the best Adam Sandler movies do, Dodgeball, a true underdog story, is still so funny in large part thanks to its all-star cast. Director: David Frankel. Cast: Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt. Genre: comedy, drama. Rating: PG-13. Runtime: 1 hour 49 Rotten Tomatoes, 75%, critics, 76%, audience. In The Devil Wears Prada, the fashion world is as cutthroat as it is glamorous, and no one rules it more fiercely than Meryl Streep's Miranda Priestley, an icy, impossibly demanding magazine editor. Anne Hathaway plays Andy, a bright but naive aspiring journalist who lands a job as Miranda's assistant, only to find herself drowning in a world of impossible standards and designer heels. Directed by David Frankel, the film blends sharp wit, standout performances, and high-fashion spectacle into a coming-of-age story with bite. Streep is magnetic in one of her most iconic roles, while Hathaway in a scene stealing Emily Blunt round out a pitch-perfect cast. Stylish, smart, and surprisingly resonant, The Devil Wears Prada is more than just a makeover movie. It's a sharp look at ambition, identity, and what it costs to make it. Director: Tim Burton. Cast: Johnny Depp, Winona Ryder, Diane Weiss. Genre: holiday, fantasy, drama, comedy. Rating: PG-13. Runtime: 1 hour 45 Rotten Tomatoes, 90%, critics, 91%, audience. Only Tim Burton could make a movie like Edward Scissorhands. The fantasy comedy, drama, with holiday overtones thanks to its wintry scenes and lush score by Danny Elfman, is truly unique, a story about a young man left with scissors for hands, Johnny Depp, who connects with a local high schooler played by Winona Ryder. The film's tone is one of a kind, blending a surreal and colorful suburbia with monster movie makeup to winning effect. Depp and Ryder have impeccable chemistry, something made all the more impressive by the fact that Depp rarely speaks in the film. Director: Steven Spielberg. Cast: Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken. Genre: comedy, drama, crime. Rating: PG-13. Runtime: 2 hours 20 Rotten Tomatoes, 35%, critics, 41%, audience. Just reading the cast and director for Catch Me If You Can makes it clear it's a movie worth watching. In it, Leonardo DiCaprio plays brilliant forger and conman Frank Abagnale Jr., on the run from FBI agent Carl Hanratty, played by a wholly determined Tom Hanks. It's a fun game of cat and mouse, made all the more thrilling thanks to Spielberg's pitch-perfect direction. While Spielberg may have made a name for himself with sci-fi movies, action, and adventure, Catch Me If You Can shows that he has considerable range and is just as comfortable making something breezy. Director: Christopher Nolan. Cast: Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain. Genre: sci-fi, action, adventure. Rating: PG-13. Runtime: 2 hours 45 Rotten Tomatoes, 73%, critics, 87%, audience. Christopher Nolan has made some of the most mind-bending, entertaining summer blockbusters out there, and Interstellar is no different. Featuring an A-list cast led by Matthew McConaughey, the film tells the story of an astronaut sent to see if the solution to a global dust bowl can be found through a wormhole. Like many of Nolan's films, Interstellar deals with themes of regret and memory, but unlike other films by the director, Interstellar really wears these emotions on its sleeve. Combined with stunning physics-defying visuals, the movie is the full package. It's a thrilling 3 hours. Director, Peter Weir. Cast, Jim Carrey, Laura Linney. Ed Harris. Genre, drama, sci-fi. Rating, PG. Runtime, 1 hour 43 m. Rotten Tomatoes, 95%, critics, 89%, audience. The Truman Show marked a turning point for Jim Carrey, showing off a more subdued, dramatic side without losing the charm that made him a star. He plays Truman Burbank, an ordinary man living an extraordinary lie his entire life as a reality TV show, broadcast to the world without his knowledge. As Truman starts to suspect the truth, the cracks in his seemingly perfect world begin to show. Directed by Peter Weir, the film is a sharp, prescient satire on media, privacy, and identity that feels even more relevant today. With a haunting performance by Ed Harris as the show's creator and Laura Linney as Truman's eerily chipper wife, The Truman Show manages to be both deeply philosophical and emotionally affecting. Director, Christopher McQuarrie. Cast, Tom Cruise, Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg. Genre, action, adventure. Rating, PG-13. Runtime, 2 hours 11 m. Rotten Tomatoes, 94%, critics, 87%, audience. Is there any doubt that Tom Cruise is one of Hollywood's greatest action stars? If there ever was, the Mission Impossible franchise surely quiets those doubts. And in Rogue Nation, the fifth in the series, Cruise proves his action bona fides in spectacular fashion, leaping from buildings, hanging from planes, and being chased through the Tower of London. Whether you're trying to catch up in preparation for Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning on IMAX, or you've just seen Final Reckoning and want to relive past adventures with Special Agent Ethan Hunt, YouTube's got your back. Director, Brian Robbins. Cast, Eddie Murphy, Thandiwe Newton, Cuba Gooding Jr. Genre, comedy, romance. Rating, PG-13. Runtime, 1 hour 42 m. Rotten Tomatoes, 9%, critics, 53%, audience. Norbit is a wild, over-the-top comedy that leans heavily on Eddie Murphy's knack for playing multiple characters. He stars as the timid Norbit, the aggressive and overbearing Rasputia, and several other side roles, all brought to life with heavy prosthetics and outrageous energy. The story centers on Norbit's struggle to escape his toxic marriage when his childhood sweetheart, Newton, re-enters his life. Directed by Brian Robbins, Norbit goes for broad slapstick and shock humor, and while the critics weren't kind, the film found an audience thanks to Murphy's full-throttle performance. It's crude, chaotic, and undeniably cartoonish, best enjoyed with expectations set accordingly. Director, James Wan. Cast, Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Barbara Hershey. Genre, horror. Rating, PG-13. Runtime, 1 hour 41 m. Rotten Tomatoes, 66%, critics, 62%, audience. A comatose child? Evil spirits? That's all you need for a great horror film, and Insidious delivers the thrills and chills deliciously thanks to that simple setup. It's a classic kind of horror movie, but that classic DNA doesn't make it any less terrifying. Responsible for horror films ranging from Saw to The Conjuring and Megan, James Wan has proven himself as an excellent horror director over the past 2 decades. Even in a lineup as impressive as that, Insidious remains one of his best. Director, Brian Robbins. Cast, Kel Mitchell, Kenan Thompson, Sinbad. Genre, comedy, family. Rating, PG. Runtime, 1 hour 35 m. Rotten Tomatoes, 33%, critics, 63%, audience. Good Burger is a goofy, nostalgia-fueled ride that thrives on the chemistry between Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell, Nickelodeon's golden-era stars. Mitchell plays Ed, the hilariously clueless but good-hearted cashier of a small-time burger joint, while Thompson's Dexter is the reluctant new hire with his own plan. Together, they take on a corporate fast food villain trying to shut them down. Though it's far from highbrow, Good Burger is packed with slapstick laughs, over-the-top performances, and quotable lines. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Director Brian Robbins leans into the absurdity, making it a cult favorite for anyone who grew up on 90s kids TV. Director, Tate Taylor. Cast, Viola Davis, Emma Stone, Octavia Spencer. Genre, drama. Rating, PG-13. Runtime, 2 hours 26 m. Rotten Tomatoes, 76%, critics, 89%, audience. Set in 1960s Mississippi, The Help tells a powerful story of race, dignity, and quiet resistance through the eyes of the black maids who cared for white families and the young writer who dares to tell their stories. Emma Stone plays Skeeter, an aspiring journalist who interviews maids Aibileen, Viola Davis, and Minnie, Octavia Spencer, about their experiences working in white households during the Jim Crow era. Directed by Tate Taylor, the film mixes heartfelt drama with moments of levity and warmth. Though it has sparked debate over its perspective and portrayal of history, The Help remains a moving, accessible entry point into difficult conversations about race, courage, and the voices that too often go unheard. Director, Anne Fletcher. Cast, Channing Tatum, Jenna Dewan, Demaine Radcliffe. Genre, drama, music, romance. Rating, PG-13. Runtime, 1 hour 44 Rotten Tomatoes, 21%, critics, 83%, audience. Step Up kicks off the dance movie franchise that turned Channing Tatum into a breakout star. He plays Tyler Gage, a rebellious street dancer who gets a second chance when he's forced to do community service at a performing arts school where he meets Nora, Jenna Dewan, a disciplined ballet student in need of a new dance partner. Sparks fly both on and off the stage as they blend styles and learn from each other. The dance sequences are electric, the soundtrack pulses with early 2000s energy, and the film's heart lies in its underdog spirit. While critics weren't won over, audiences embraced it for what it is, a feel-good romance with moves to spare.